a long time, my friend, but I am here to give you your prophetic insight for the week in March. It is almost the last week of March, right before what some people celebrate is Easter, but 2024, I have been working and grinding, and so there is a reward to your patience. All right. I'm here today for you aspiring entrepreneurs and ministry leaders. And I'm here today because I have got such a burden, such a passion to bring you along on this journey, to mentor you and make sure that what you produce is fruitful. Okay, so here is the point that I want to make, and it comes from Isaiah chapter 5. And I just want to say that this video today is going to be so life-changing and powerful. So I want you to get out your notes. I want you to really think about what I'm going to say to you, because I'm going to show you how to launch a business, a ministry, or how to start from a foundation that you may feel has been broken in a business or a ministry. So here we go from Isaiah 5. This is what I got about planting, sowing, and reaping. All right. So, God, Annie, what do I do? Everybody's doing something on YouTube. Everybody's making money. Everybody's monetizing. Everybody's house flipping, Airbnb. They are selling cookbooks. They are selling recipes. They are just doing something. And I'm sitting back going, I've got to get out of this 9 to 5. I've got to answer my call and go into full-time ministry. What do I do? Come in closer. I'm going to tell you. All right. So first of all, you have to start with something that's fruitful. Isaiah 5 says, my beloved had a vineyard and a very fruitful hill. So a lot of the things sometimes we want to do is because we see someone else doing it. Someone said that vacation rentals is the thing to do. And so I'm just going to do that because I just think that it's fruitful. All right. There needs to be something that goes beyond the realm of hobby. Hobby is something you do that you love, and whether or not it makes money, whether or not it's fruitful or it produces, you're willing to do it for free. Now, I think that it's good to have things that you like that, but I believe the Lord is saying today that there needs to be fruitfulness in your endeavors. If this concept does not make money, or it takes a long time to make money or to bear fruit, might not want to be where you want to plant. It needs to be very fruitful. So the return, especially if you're like me, I don't have a lot of time because I spend a lot of time in the incubator of God. I spent a lot of time in a dark season where God was building my capacity to handle fruit, right? Or money or wealth or people. And so now that he's released me to start this endeavor, I needed to be something that is very fruitful. Okay. There are things that make a little money, right? So if you're sitting back and you say, hey, I have no retirement. I have no ministry successors, no spiritual sons and daughters to even help me birth this thing out. I need to get into a very fruitful place. I need to fish where there's multiple streams of fish. So in other words, if I need to make $1 billion, $100,000, then I need to be doing something that every month I can make $10,000. And then I can 10x that and I'll make $100,000. So I can't go for the thing, I'm going to get a vending machine because I heard somebody doing that. Frank's doing a vending machine, and a vending machine makes $800 a month. Yeah, I just paused because and although that is the stream, it's not fruitful enough to get you where you want to go in a time frame. All right. And $100,000 in a year is possible net off of a small business. Very possible. In fact, they say you haven't even started if you're not making 100,000. So even in discipleship, if you say, well, I'm called to lead people, I'm called to mentor people, then if that student can't reproduce other students because they have such a great testimony, because the rapport is so strong. The connection is a God connection and not just, I found this person on the side of the road and they got nothing going on with their life. That may not be a very fruitful person. Are they teachable? Are they trainable? Do they yield to your counsel? Very fruitful. So that's principle number one. Very fruitful. Sometimes we get things that have a little trickle. I used to mentor people, and I used to try to start business endeavors that would have a little trickle, right? And right now, I do several endeavors, but it came to my knowledge. God said to me, Eddie, you have to do something that's very fruitful. So I want you to really write that down. If it's not going to 10x, if it's not going to, I plant one seed and I get back 10, I put $1 in and I get $10, with the time framing and the things wrapping up, right? We need to be very fruitful. So here's a God principle. He didn't plant in just a hill that bared a little fruit. It was very fruitful. I want you to mic drop right there. Is it very fruitful? Okay. Does it reproduce, or is it just a hobby that doesn't make anything? And it's not always physical money, but if it's mentorship, then I need to see that this student is bearing fruit of the lessons that I'm teaching them. All right. Number 2, he said it was his beloved thing. And he fenced it, and he gathered at the stones, and he planted the choicest vine. So I believe you have to have a passion about this thing. And even if the thing that you're doing is not so passionate, but because my passion is attached to this, and this is the way that I'm going to acquire this orphanage, or the way that I'm going to set up this inheritance for my children, then the passion lies there in this stream, this line. I can endure with it because of the outcome. So you have to have a passion point. I am doing this for the children in Dominican Republic. And I am so passionate about the children in Dominican Republic. Look at me and listen to me. Find the passion. Find the thing that wakes you up at night. Find the thing that you just cannot stop doing. Find that thing. Eric will find you. Or they say, what irritates you? What makes you upset? That's probably where your passion lies. I have such an irritation with prophets who aren't trained, with ministries who have no succession, with children that are abandoned and orphaned, and society has let them down. So that is where I want to say, here is my cause. Now, my means to my cause, hey, if I got to run a laundromat for a year, I don't mind running the laundromat. I don't mind running the Airbnb. I don't mind selling the books because my passion is attached to it. And I have to put a end note on it. For every 20 books I sell, I bring one child out of poverty. I bring one child out of homelessness. So I think you need to quantify it. And a lot of people have a hard time quantifying. To me, if you're not quantifying it, you're not qualifying it, and it probably won't happen. So you can't just say, well, I want to help people, and, I know I need to make a lot of money. No, I need to do a coaching program where I charge $1,000 and I need 10 students, because when I get that 10 students, I net 7,000. And every time I get 7,000, I buy a new property. I buy an auction property. And every time I buy an auction property, I am building that portfolio of inheritance. Or maybe you want to give these houses away, or maybe you want to refinance, owner finance them to people who don't have the credit, but I need to quantify it. Okay. And that's what he said. He said he dug it out, he fenced it, he gathered it, and he planted it. So here is the 3. So now that I found the thing that I'm going to do, first thing I need to do is fence it. I don't need to tell everybody about it. I need to focus and fence it in. I need to block out negativity. I need to fence in my eye gate. Fence it into me is that you have to, and I have to focus. I cannot be all over the place. I cannot do two things at the same time well, and they become fruitful. If I'm going to be fruitful, I have to fence this one thing in and let this type of seeds bear fruit. And even if it's an A, B, C, then A has to produce B, B has to produce C. I can't start daydreaming about C and I haven't fenced A in. And you're going to do it. Oh my gosh, you're going to do it this time. Why? Because you have a mentor, you have a coach. And look at these nuggets that we're getting from the Word of God. Fence it and then gather it, right? So then how do I extract the finances or the proceeds from what I'm doing? And I'll be honest, I had a hard time with this. I had a hard time saying, this is the business's buddy. It's not my money, and paying myself. So this endeavor, if it's attached to an end goal, then I have to be able to pull it out and not always 100% reinvest. I say 30% needs to be in a savings. It needs to be in an account that it's building that I can have for the next cycle, right? That I can pour that back into that, or let that build, so if I'm netting 7,000 and then I'm taking 3,000 and I'm holding on to that, I'm taking the other 4,000 and running the business with it, then that 3,000 in 10 months is 30,000. And at the end of the 10 months, now I've got 30,000 to put into a flip or whatever I'm doing. Okay. So I gather out, I take out the dust, the dross. I take out the things that aren't working. And I have to be able to sometimes let other people and expose what I'm doing and the process of it and say, this isn't working, right? When we're doing this is not making money. I've had to do that several times in my event business. When we're doing certain kind of catering gigs, they're not making enough money. So we're going to eliminate that and we're going to simplify the menu, something like that. Okay. Pull out the stones, gather the good things, and gathering and pulling out the stones, then I'm extracting what's good, right? And then plant. I have to be willing to plant choice vines. That means it's going to cost me. If you won't spend 100, you will never make 1,000. If you won't spend 1,000, you'll never make 100,000. If you won't spend 10,000, you'll never make 100,000, right? 1,000 for 10,000. 100 for 1,000. So are you willing to spend something choice? And guess what's choice in these days? Time. So that's why you got to fence in. I put in 7 to 10 hours a day on my business. Okay. And where do you find the time? Sometimes I get up at 2:00 in the morning, 2 to 6 sometimes. And you've got to put the time in, choice time. When everybody else is going to Outback, or everybody else is going to Longhorn, a Sunday afternoon, I'm going back and I'm watching videos how to improve my business. Okay, choice. If you're not willing to make that sacrifice and be consistent, whether you feel like it or not, you've got to get up and say, every day from 2 to 7, I work on my business. Every day, and I would do it first thing in the morning. That's when you're fresh. Every day from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., if that's all you got, because you're still on the grind, you're still in 9 to 5, from 6 a.m. to 8, or from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., 2 hours a day, I'm going to work on my business. I'm going to write that book. This is choice. This is precious. This is sacrifice, right? But if you endure, I believe in 12 months, you can change your life. I really believe in 30 days. There's a 30-day cure book that I'm coming out with. So what happens then is you sit back, if you're doing all these things in the system, the consistency will keep you motivated. Then guess what? He said, I looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. All right. So even if it didn't yield you and you said, man, this thing didn't work, it didn't go back to one of these things, you can start over. He said, tear it down and let's start over again. So be willing to start over again, but you didn't lose the stump. You didn't lose the tree stump. You can build from the knowledge, the roots that are now with you. They'll never leave you of what works and what doesn't work. Well, I really found out I don't really like real estate. I don't like being a landlord. And that was an expensive lesson, but now I have it. I can build from that. And so I want to pray in the name of Jesus that you would start this business, that you would start this ministry, that you would join our business, monetize our way coaching program, and you would go to the top. Listen, I'm selecting about 5 students in the near future that will go on this journey with me. We've also just launched our university. We're launching it. We're having a summer fast track session in June, but then in September, we're launching officially. We are UNC certified to give out bachelor's degrees, associates, masters, and PhDs. And so these are going to really tell the world and yourself that you've accomplished a certain set of knowledge, and their practical training. It's not there's arts, there's business, there's prophecy, there's apostolic, which is just being a marketplace pioneer. So I'm going to pray right now that these dreams and all these lessons, if you follow these and write these down, and if you say, hey, Annie, I need more, I need mentorship. We're going to be doing group mentoring in Facebook, monetize our way, starting with a 5-day masterclass. I'm going to pray that God really blesses your endeavor. 2024, you can do more than you've ever done. I'm going to pray in the name of Jesus that the sabotaging and the distractions will move out of your way, and that you will produce a fruit this year. Your life is going to produce something. And I just given you a practical means that so that you can launch off. And I decree and declare that you're going to launch off, that you're going to do what you've never done, that you're going to be who you've never been, because you're making a paradigm shift, because you're being coached, because you're going to learn how to become very fruitful. I decree that the days of barrenness are over, that this is a time of fruitfulness, that this is a time of very fruitfulness, that you're becoming that choice vine, that you're becoming sought after, that you're becoming radical for your pursuits, and that it is time for you to be fruitful and to make others fruitful. It is your season to bear fruit. It is your season to go to the next level. I'm Coach Annie Ridgle, and I'm going to help you get there. All right, I'll see you guys at the top. Bye for now.